All right, guys, so we're going to be going through a team build guide for the Rebirth team here based on information I've gathered from the playtest server, and then also as well feedback from members that are part of the community. We're going to be going through a couple of things here today. What we're ultimately going to be cover is that we're going to talk about the best T4s, the best ISO 8, the best team placement. We're also going to go over Red Star priority, and then we're also going to talk about the best 5th replacement character as well, considering that a lot of players may not get Ancient Venom, so who can you slot in depending on what game mode it is that you're going to be using? So let's actually start off with Captain America here. The best T4s, I think, for him, and as you can see here, based on the way it's listed in terms of the order, that is the order that I would do your T4s in, right? So for Captain America, I would do his passive, then I would do his special, and then I would do his ultimate ability. You want the passive for the extra additional 20% max health. You also want the 2-turn taunt when allies fall below 50%. For the special, you want the additional ability energy for the Rebirth team, and then the ultimate will also give you that additional speed bar fill. Now, in terms of ISO 8 here, a lot of players are going to run Fortifier on him because he is going to taunt a lot. So you're definitely also going to want to get an additional barrier on him to make sure that he stays alive, and he's going to gain taunt quite often. Also, the minor defense up is going to help alongside, of course, the defense up. And also, Fortifier is going to be good in Cosmic Crucible in that room 3 because you can then also spread positive effects there as well. So therefore, that's going to be a pretty optimal one, I think, for Captain America. You can also use Healer. He has a decent sized health pool. He's also a fast tank, so you could probably get a lot of regenerations from him as well. Although I do think that a lot of your healing is probably going to come better from Captain Carter, but that is a consideration. I'll probably go Fortifier instead with Captain America. Now, Captain Carter, the best T4s I think for her here are going to be her passive first, then her ultimate, and then I would go with her special as well. You want the passive because she's going to be able to heal any Rebirth ally whenever they drop below 30% for 30% of her max health. The ultimate is going to give you a 2-turn safeguard, and then you're going to get an extra 100% damage from that attack. Or special ability, higher health on revive for a Rebirth character. So I think it goes from 30% to then 60% whenever she revives a Rebirth character. And then you're also getting the additional 100% damage as well. In terms of ISO 8, I chose to go with Healer. And then you also can kind of go with Striker too. It all kind of depends on what your gameplay is and what your stars and your red stars on the character. I think Striker, just to be able to take care of the vulnerables that are going to be thrown out, there's going to be a lot of them. But Healer, I think, is probably going to be optimal and better because she's a support character on the team. She already does healing with her kit anyways, but then this gives her an opportunity to be able to throw out some more additional regenerations. So therefore, I do think that the Healer ISO probably would work better for her, but I am seeing players who are running Striker on her as well. All right. Next, we're going to talk about US Agent. So for US Agent, the best T4s I think for him are his passive, and you could maybe potentially go with his special ability. That's kind of going to be up to you. I'm going to make that be your call. The passive you want because you're going to get the additional speed bar when each character blocks or deflects. You are going to be able to get that additional speed bar, and then you also do get additional focus as well to the rest of the team. That also is a benefit too. In regards to his special ability, though, you can do it. If you do the T4, you're going to get a 2-turn ability block to the primary target and then also adjacent target in raids. But you're already getting a 1-turn ability block, and he has a low cooldown, and there's going to be ability energy that you can get as well from Captain America. So I don't necessarily know if you really need that additional T4 on the special. That's the reason why I put it here as a maybe. Now, in terms of ISO 8, it's pretty clear. I think that Skirmisher is going to be the best ISO for US Agent. All right, Winter Soldier, who, by the way, is going to be one of your biggest damage dealers on this team. Winter Soldier is absolutely amazing. In terms of T4s, I would go with his passive first, then I will go with his special. Ultimate, you don't need, but it's actually really good, so you may want to consider it. But we'll talk about why here. But the passive you definitely want because you're going to get the additional crit chance for Rebirth allies. This really benefits Ancient Venom, who benefits from having extra crit damage or crit chances in his kit. So therefore, you are going to want to take advantage of that. However, if he does crit as well, this does make a lot of his attacks more devastating. So you definitely do want that extra crit in the extra crit chance here for him and also the rest of his team. Then his special ability, he gets an extra 50% damage on all of his bonus attacks. So he bonus attacks 3 times after hitting 1 time. So you're going to get 4 attacks here. And each one of those bonus attacks gets an extra 50% damage whenever you throw this T4 on there. And it can even be more devastating than his ultimate at times, depending on who you decide to use it on, right? And how you decide to use it. And then this ultimate, like I said, you don't need it. It does give you an additional 2-turn stun to the primary target. You do also get an 80, but the thing is that you get also 80% damage, which gives you more one-shot ability. His ultimate does a lot of damage. It also cannot be blocked or dodged. So unless they have defense up, the damage is not going to be negated. That is going to be raw damage that you're going to get from him here. It's going to be massive. And with the extra 15% damage that he does get from Agent Venom's kit, this is going to be pretty impactful. In terms of ISO 8, I would just run with Striker here. He's an amazing striker with those bonus attacks. I definitely would use that one on him. Now, Agent Venom, I love Agent Venom, man. But let's talk about his T4s. I mean, I fanboy over Agent Venom. So for Agent Venom, I would go with his passive first. I will go with his special, and then I will do his ultimate. So for his passive, you're getting the additional damage for himself. It's extra 15% damage for himself and also the rest of his Rebirth allies. You also then have his special ability that does an additional 100% piercing damage on the primary, and then also his extra 2 bonus attacks as well. So I definitely will take advantage of that. And then his ultimate ability, 30% additional damage per negative and positive effects on the primary target. So all 3 of those are good. I wouldn't do his basic. His basic does a little bit more damage, but I don't think that you really need that there. And in terms of ISO 8, I definitely would run Raider on him. Raider, because a lot of his damage or a lot of his kit does do call outs to extra to crits. So therefore, I would throw Raider on him as well. Of course, that's the reason why we also wanted to make sure that we did the additional passive on Winter Soldier too. All right, guys, so that's it in terms of T4s and ISO 8. In terms of team placement, this is what I'm running currently right now. I'm running Captain America all the way to the left here, Winter Soldier, US Agent, Captain Carter. This is what I run in the test server. US Agent, Captain Carter here, and Agent Venom. This seems to work fine. I know that there's some variations where I think players, mostly it's usually Captain America and Winter Soldier next to each other. I've seen Captain Carter in the middle and a US Agent all the way over. I think mostly you want to keep Agent Venom on the very end here because you do want to keep him away from getting any sort of additional damage. Winter Soldier seems to be fine right next to Captain America. US Agent, not so much. And then Captain Carter, she has a pretty high health pool, so you could probably swap it, but you want Captain Carter to stay alive because you want her to be able to heal the rest of the team and not take on additional damage, right? So that's the reason why that works there. And in terms of Red Star priority, I personally, this is what I would do. I would go with Captain America because once again, he's going to be taunting a lot. You want to make sure that his health pool is as high as possible. You want to make sure that he's staying alive, right? So I think having the higher red stars on him is good. Winter Soldier, just because of the massive amount of damage that he can do. Same thing with Agent Venom, but of course, a lot of players are probably not going to get Agent Venom because this event is absolutely trash right now. So later on, for some of the newer players, mid-game players, or players who are just getting this team Agent Venom may not be that great, but for players who are more so endgame, who will be getting Agent Venom, I would say that he would be a high priority for red stars, but the yellow stars are going to dictate that. Captain Carter, because of her healing, and then US Agent, I probably wouldn't really use promo credits on him. It's probably the other 4 characters. US Agent, by the way, not a slouch in Rage. He's pretty good. Just outside of Rage, he's just not that great. All right, and then in terms of the 5th placement, or 5th replacement for Agent Venom if you don't have him, what I'm seeing people do is they're using Red Hulk and raids. It does work for that bio sections, so that's pretty good. Squirrel Girl also works as well if you choose to go in that direction because of the additional heals. She can also help out with some offense downs, a little bit of additional damage there as well. Squirrel Girl also has the cleanse, so that will also help the team too. Then you also do have Phyla-Vell. The reason why I threw her here, Captain Carter does throw out, I think, Death Proof on her special ability. So Phyla-Vell will give characters Drain. Characters who have Death Proof, she will give them Drain. So therefore, I thought that the passive could be helpful. And also Phyla-Vell will provide a little bit of additional damage. Will not make up for the damage that you're losing with Agent Venom if you don't have him, but at least Phyla-Vell can help out in that regard. And then for like Cosmic Crucible, Zemo would be a good character to run with this team, especially if you're running them in that room 3 where you have the Fortifier buff, where you spread all positive effects if you have the Fortifier buff on them. So if you kind of do the same thing with Zemo, Zemo spawns with defense up and immunity. He can then spread that whenever he does his ultimate to the rest of the team. And of course, as they continue to go, if you throw Fortifier on them, they can continue to throw out and spread those positive effects too. I also threw Maria Hill here for Cosmic Crucible, or if you choose to use this team outside, let's say that you want to drop Agent Venom and you don't want to use US Agent, I'm sorry. If you want to drop US Agent outside of Cosmic Crucible or even raids, you can throw Maria Hill on this team too, because Maria Hill will, because this team gets a lot of the flex, Maria Hill will heal every single time a character deflects. So therefore, you can kind of work that synergy in that sort of particular way. So that's pretty much it here, guys, in terms of this video. Hopefully you find this information to be helpful. If you do, please like the video. Also subscribe to the channel here. Hit that notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Share the video with someone else so that in case they need to get some information on this, they can also grab this as well. Also leave a comment if you have any questions about anything or any suggestions about anything as well. Do that too, and then check out the links that are down below in the description. Link to my Discord. There's also a link as well to my other social media links, my Twitter, my Instagram, and a few other links that are down there as well. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed, y'all be safe.